Hello, welcome back to Sim by the Mile. You join me here at a rainy Tonbridge on the Medway Valley Line that has just recently come out, and we're going to be taking this class 375 up the line to Strood today. So if that's something you think you'll enjoy, make sure to stick around. We've got a couple of minutes and then we'll be leaving on to make our way up to Spruid. I believe we're going to be stopping at all stops along the way. Okay, the doors are closed and we've got a green light ahead of us, so let's get ourselves out of here. Get the reverser into forward. And give the train a little bit of power. Get us moving. So how you all been enjoying this route so far? I know this came out. There's actually quite a few Train Sim World releases coming out relatively soon. By the time this video gets released, we would have also had the Class 90 freight train being released, which comes out on Monday, end of March. Looking forward to getting hands on that as well. But yeah, this was a last minute pickup. I wasn't sure whether I was going to buy this or something for Flight Sim, but here we are, enjoying this little run here. We leave Tonbridge and get here on the southeastern main line, switching tracks. This is one part of the line you can really stretch the legs of the 375. Other than this, once we get onto the actual Medway Valley, it's very much a commuter route, lots of quick stops, a couple of miles between each one, maybe at most. In one instance, there's less than half a mile between stations, so it's very much a commuter experience. This is the one bit of the track where we can actually get out and stretch the legs of the train. Speed limit here up to 90 and then up to 100 miles an hour. We are only on this section though for a very, very short time before we pull off and get through to the commuting. I've got to say, it is fun to be back in Train Simulator and back driving again. I'm back driving this route as well. This has got to be one of the best routes I've played in a long time. Firefly Simulations, who made it, have really gone out their way to come up with something special for their first ever product they've released in Train Sim World. And even the rework on the 375 as well is pretty good. With the door panels and I know in guard mode you have the CCTV as well. And GSMR rather. All fully working and fully functional in the train. Nice little improvement. The one thing about today's journey though is the weather is absolutely horrendous on this evening. Not a good day. Hopefully it will improve as we head up further up the line. So about 2 miles out it's going to start slowing us for Paddock Wood here, and then Paddock Wood is where we take the power off. Paddock Wood is where we eventually join the Medway Valley and start following the river up. Let's start moving the brake down. There's our aspect signal. Warning us we do have the speed restriction incoming. I can't remember, I think we might actually switch tracks as well here. At least on the way in we do. It's the first time I've driven it this way. Single yellow. And you can see there's the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit just coming into the platform. You can see the little distance marker at the top, and then the 35 right after. So yeah, you can see here on this aspect signal just coming into view that they are going to siphon us off here to the left. It goes down to 40.
We will shortly be arriving at Paddock Wood.
The frame rates as well and general performance on this route are really, really good for how detailed it is. With regards to the foliage and stuff on the trackside, they've done an excellent job at getting stellar route, really. And I mean, every now and then we'll drop below 40, but most of the time we're holding steady frames. And this is it, video encoding on the same machine as well, so we are asking the machine to do a little bit. It'd stop a little bit over the stop marker, but we've got plenty of platform, doors are open. You can see here, as soon as we open the door, we get this spring coming up.
Welcome aboard this southeastern service to Strood.
It shows which doors are currently open.
Wateringbury, East Farley, Maidstone West, Maidstone Barracks, Aylesford, New Hythe.
When you close the door as well, it does actually simulate the guard, so you have to wait for the guard signal, which is one thing I kind of appreciate, which I didn't mention in the review. So as you notice on the panel here, when we go to close the doors in a second, it's normally door C will stay open longer. There you go, everything's closed apart from door C, and that's where the guard is. And when that closes, we'll get a buzz. Also the AWS warning going off for us. So now we get out of Paddock Wood, this is where the line starts to change and becomes very much the commuter focus. Up outside. We're going to take this line here to the left. And for this little section, it becomes single track for a moment. As we take the branch. And now we're pulling off onto the valley line, and soon enough we'll find the river, which we'll be following all the way up the Medway to Strood. Give the train a little bit more power. So Beltring is one of these weird stations. It is literally in the middle of nowhere. You'll see when we get there in a couple of minutes' time. The only thing around it is basically fields. I'm assuming it's like just an out-of-town station. Which is one of the good contrasts you get on this route. It's very much like a commuter route, but what you'd expect to find in a big city As I said, I compared it to some of the London Overground lines we've got, or Manchester Airport commuter. But it's literally, most of the stations are in the middle of nowhere. It is very picturesque though. So you'll see as we approach the station, there's just fields. And here we are at Beltring. Brake a little bit heavier just to bring an end in line with the stop marker. Kind of slightly past it, but it should be fine. Get the doors open. And yeah, the only thing we're going to be picking up here is the sheep. Must be like a bus stop or something to get people to and from the station, because there's absolutely nothing around here. You see all the doors are closed on the outside. Door C is still open, where the guard would be. And there you go, there's door C closing, so let's hop back in the cab. Brakes are off, we start moving, and we don't have far to go. We have literally just over a mile and a half before we get to Yalding. So it's very quick turnarounds in terms of where our station stops are. And there's our first sight of the river, so Medway Valley, the River Medway, this is what we're going to be following upstream, or downstream rather, towards the north of Kent. Actually, I'm not even sure if this counts as the river, it looks more like wetland, but it's around here somewhere. I'm not too familiar with the geography around here. I need to work out on the control pad as well what the shortcut is for the horn. I've been playing on the control pad and it doesn't really tell me. There are a lot of whistle boards on this route as well, so all these little level crossings like this one we're just going across here, all scattered along the route, so there's a if you are doing all the whistle boards and everything, as well as just the general speed changes and signs you have to watch out for, there's actually a lot to do in cab on this one.
We will shortly be arriving at Yalding.
But it does make it for a fun experience, very interactive, the fact that there's a lot to be doing. You've got your frequent stops as well, trying to stay within the speed limits. And also all the whistle boards for all the level crossings you have to contend with. Just slowly crawl into Yalding here. going to overshoot ever so slightly. These houses here remind me of kind of like a Dutch architecture, like Dutch boat houses. Very strange to see them in England. I'm assuming it's pretty accurate, and this is what they look like. These riverside properties, but they kind of remind me of the type of thing you'd see in like Holland, architectural wise. So we did overshoot that platform a little bit. I need to be better with the driving. Next stop is Wateringbury. We'll see if we can do a bit better there. Just came in a little too hot that time. One thing that's caught me out a few times with this train is I expect the brakes to be a little bit better than they are. I mean, they're not the worst brakes in the world. I've seen worse, but I would expect them to be a little bit better.
Wateringbury.
Again, more horn whistle ports. I've worked it out, guys. I know how to use the horn. We're also speeding. Bring the brakes down. So yeah, on the control pad, it's the I'm not pushing in the analog stick. It works the horn. Just had to go have a quick look at the controls. So that's useful to know. Considering there's so many of the whistle boards that we need to use our horn out on this route.
We will shortly be arriving at Wateringbury.
Really does add to the rural feel though, getting all these level crossings around the route. Just pulling in now to Wateringbury, where we have another level crossing. This is another thing you see quite a bit with this route as well, is these off-centered stations where they're not aligned, the platforms. That's a better stop than the one we did at the last station. Shall we see how we did? Yep, perfect that. But yeah, we do see this quite a lot on this route, where a lot of the stations are split. As you can see, they're not aligned with each other. It does kind of add to the rural feel of the route, these offset platforms. Right, we'll get moving now.
The next station is East Farley.
So what's your opinion on this route for people who own it? Have you been enjoying it so far? I do like there's a lot of content as well and a lot of layers to it. I mean, from the rail tours to the Javelin, the 395, to even the Class 700 on the northern end of the line, giving a lot of variety there on what you can do on the route. And it's just generally an enjoyable little route to drive. Obviously not especially when the weather conditions are good. Today we've got rain, but it is pretty realistic for this time of year to have on-off weather. Like 2 more whistle boards in very quick succession there. It's also very curvy, the track, as we follow the path of the river and follow the valley down. Cut out by the river, very bendy bit of track. The river's off there to our right, as you can see. Just bring the power down back to 40 for the speed restriction coming up, which is just before East Barley. And then pretty much right after we go through the speed restriction, we then need to get down to, well, to stop at the station.
We will shortly be arriving at East Farley.
And just around the corner. And again, another offset platform. Oh, we'll get the doors open, a bit of power. That double bell there of the guard signalling, yep, we can get going. And then we're pretty much straight up to 70 mile an hour speed limit as soon as we leave the station and leave the platform. So next up is Maidstone. Maidstone is probably the busiest area along the route, like the Medway town, essentially.
The next station is Maidstone West.
It's also where we have the quickest little turnaround in terms of station stops, because we have Maidstone West and then Maidstone Barracks, and it's probably less than half a mile between the two, slightly over maybe. So it's a very, very quick turnaround. You basically stop in and then leave him right away. Oh, we are getting a few frame struggles, but that's probably just scenery loading in. As I said, it's a very built-up area. You need to think about braking, because we do have a little bit of a speed limit. It looks like we go onto the... There's a through line here at Maidstone. Clear off the AWS warning. This is pretty much what its warning was about. Getting down to 30, we're already aware of it, thanks to the HUD, but that's where the marker would be. Then here, we branch off to go down to this 15. As we pull into the station, we kind of just branch off to the side to allow for through traffic.
We will shortly be arriving at Maidstone West.
There's another 375 heading in the other direction. Here's our 15. And as I said, the little branch off to allow for through traffic through the middle lane. This as well pretty much marks the halfway point in the line. Well, I don't know if it's exactly halfway. It feels like it should be about halfway. When you get to the two Maidstone stations. And you can see, as soon as we leave here, we basically rejoin the main line.
Welcome aboard this southeastern service to Strood. Calling at.
But what is a very,
Barracks,
very quick
Aylesford,
turnaround?
New Hythe,
As I said, it's
Snodland,
like
Horley,
half a mile,
Cuxton,
if that.
and
You see on the
Strood.
mini-map the next blue line and just how close they are. Well, there's the guard buzzer and we're moving, so it's saying 800 yards. Between the two stations. Be careful, we are still restricted to 15 as we pull off
The next
back onto the
station
main line.
is Maidstone Barracks.
And just as soon as we start, we're pulling in.
We will shortly be arriving at Maidstone Barracks. This is British Transport Police. If you notice something out of the ordinary, speak to a member of staff or text us on 61016 and we'll get it sorted. That's 61016. See it, say it, sorted.
some bloody big puddles on the platform. Yeah, Maidstone Barracks. It's heavily raining today. Kind of in line with the stop marker.
Welcome aboard this southeastern service to Strood, calling at Aylesford, New Hythe, Snodland, Horling, Cuxton and Strood.
Get the doors locked and we'll get moving. So that's the shortest distance between two of the stations on the route. It does start to get a little bit more spaced out from that. And by more spaced out, I mean, like, so you've got a couple of miles of here, but then back to, like, 1.5 miles between stations. Aylesford is a little bit different. One thing about Aylesford as well is, I believe, if you get on the train, for whatever reason, they have modelled the passenger crossing, the pedestrian crossing. So you can get out and use the traffic lights that are outside of the station. Not modelled anything beyond crossing the road, but if you are that way inclined, it is something you are able to do. Believe it's the only point on the route you can do that is Aylesford. But it is something that is there. I'm not sure if my microphone's picking up, but it's really, really windy all of a sudden. So you can hear that in the background, I do apologise. Still hugging the river. It's nice to have a bit of a bigger gap between the platforms and get to stretch the legs of the 375. Not as much as we can down near Tonbridge, but a little bit. Oh, wrong button. Probably down way too early for this 40, but it did give us the warning of the speed change. We'll just let it cruise at 44 for a minute and then drop down in a second. As we get closer. And then just like that, this higher speed section is pretty much over. One of the cool things about this route as well is they do have changes in the scenery, depending on the season. So for example, during the summer you'll see more boats rendered on the river and then you would during the winter months. Another thing is apparently with regards to the fields, during the spring you'll see more lambs as opposed to sheep with the newborns. Which is a really nice touch. I didn't even think that was possible. You could have seasonal variations, but Firefly Simulations have managed to do it. And overall, for the first ever route in Train Sim World, this is quite impressive. I'm
This
really
is
looking
British
forward to see
Transport
what they
Police.
actually release after
If you
this,
notice something out
or
of
where
the
they go
ordinary,
next.
speak to a member of staff or text us on 61016 and we'll get it sorted.
I kind of wouldn't mind them
That's
doing the
6
whole
1016.
Southeastern Main Line. We've
See
got a
it,
little bit of the
say
Southeastern
it,
Main Line,
sorted.
obviously at Tonbridge to Park Meadows, whatever it's called. So perhaps they may do the rest of it. I think we stopped a little short of the marker there, but let's have a look. Yeah, we still had a few more meters before we had to stop. Still, we're a small enough train, it doesn't really matter, we're not 100% at the stop marker.
Snodland, Horling, Cuxton and Strood.
Just a nice casual drive down the line. So yeah, now we're back to just a mile between the stations again.
The next station is New Hythe.
This is going to be one of them where as soon as we get going, we're pretty much having to stop. Just because the stations are so close together. You can see the marker right in front of us. So we'll already start slowing down and bringing her in for the New Heath. Is our next stop.
We will shortly be arriving at New Hythe.
And I don't think for New Heath we have that many more stops left before we get to Stroud. So even though there's a lot of stops on this, it does run pretty quickly. Just because it's so interactive, there's so much to be doing, whether it's doing the whistle boards or the short distances between platforms. There's always something going on. Which makes the route fun, to be fair, and makes it fun to drive. That's better. Straight in line with the stop marker.
Welcome aboard this southeastern service to Strood, calling at Snodland, Horling, Cuxton and Strood.
So I think we have, after this stop, we have 4 stops, I believe. See, the cones at the side, they don't have to have the cones there while waiting for the doors to lock, but they do. It's just a little bit of trackside detail that just adds to the immersion. And it's one of the reasons why I think they've done such a great job when it comes to this train sim route, really. And why I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time playing it. I was going to say, if you've not watched the review yet, go watch the review, but definitely go, if you haven't picked up this route yet, definitely go pick it up. And if you don't want to get it right away, when it comes on sale, because it's Train Sim World, eventually everything comes on sale, pick it up when it's on sale. You will not be disappointed.
We will shortly be arriving at...
There are some routes, like I guess the East Coast Main Line's one of them, where yeah, it's high speed, but because you're not stopping a lot, there isn't a lot to be doing on it. It does get a little bit boring. With the amount of layers and different traffic options, you're not going to get bored on this route. I believe if you have Southeastern high speed as well, there's even Javelin services down to Maidstone, where we were before. We've overshot the marker a little bit on the 3-car marker. So that's another option as well. You know, potentially taking the Javelin round here.
Welcome aboard this southeastern service.
I don't know how often them services
Strood,
run.
calling at Horling, Cuxton and Strood.
Again, and one of the other things was if you have the Flying Scotsman for the East Coast Main Line, you can take that on there on this route as well as a rail tour. If you decided, oh, I'd like to run a steam engine down it. There's a guard buzzer. Having the simulated guard as well certainly adds to, again, just the immersion. And I hope more developers do this in the future, and when they release the route, is have the simulated guard.
The next station is Horling.
So next is Horling, then I'm not sure if we've got 1 or 2 more stops. We're pretty much towards the end of the line now at this point. Not far to go. On a rainy Sunday afternoon. Another realism, I know this is on all trains, but another good thing if you want to have a better experience for playing train sim, maybe you're new to it, definitely turn on the safety systems, because they do add just another layer into the simulation. So not only are you driving, you're actually having to manage things such as the AWS systems, other warning systems, other safety systems. And it will just give you overall just generally a better experience.
We will shortly be arriving at Horling. This is British Transport Police. If you notice something,
So I think we might have one more stop. I'm not fully familiar with the line yet. I don't think Halling's the last one.
That's 61016. See it, say it, sorted.
I think we've at least got one more between here and Stroud. That was a pretty good stop. To be fair, I'm surprised we've only managed to overshoot once on this run. And it wasn't, to be fair, that bad. First time I played this route, I absolutely just steamrolled through one of the smaller stations. because I just thought the brakes would be much better than they were, and the whole front carriage didn't make it into the platform. Doors are locked, so we'll be in a moment. Yep, Cookton. So Cookton is the station, the last station. And then we're at our final destination, so we don't have too much further to go. Just over, well, just rather under 2 miles to get to Cuxton. Again, this is another one with another station with offset platforms, I do believe. And then from here,
The next station
the river really
is
opens up. We can
Cuxton.
maybe take a little look outside so you can see it. Not too far away at the moment. But this is pretty much getting towards the mouth of the river, really. And the river pretty much opens up into the Thames estuary. And that part of the world if you're not from the UK. Just waiting for the main river to come into sight. Do need to make sure we slow down because we do have a 70 speed limit coming up, but we need to start braking soon because we've only got half a mile to go.
We will shortly be arriving at Cuxton.
Now, what's I right? Is this one of the ones with offset platforms? I think it was. Again, I'm still learning this route myself, so I might be wrong there. No, maybe it doesn't have offset platforms. They look in line to me. Does have a nice little footbridge and a level crossing there. Again, another little small platform. Little small rural station. Barely enough room for a 3-car unit to fit on it. Yeah, I guess there is a slight offset here, as that platform on the other side is slightly offset due to the footbridge. You can see there the boats in the river estuary. One thing that maybe it's asking a little too much, it would be nice if the boat traffic was animated, but that's probably being a little nitpicky to ask for animated boat traffic. Just making sure I actually told the doors to lock. There we go, and Strood is the next platform, so we have 2.5 miles, and that's our little run up the Medway done for today. It's always interesting as you get into Strood as well what kind of traffic you'll see, because there are a lot of units that run through there. I mean, the first time I got in there was a Javelin just pulling into the platform next to me.
Strood.
I'm yet to see any Thameslink services, but I know I do have them layers, so we should have at some point see some of them along the route, along the northern part. Believe we're just passing under. We pop out the cab. These bridges we're passing over, this first bridge anyway that we're passing over, is high speed 1. Obviously it splits at Ebbsfleet International, and the Faversham line where we see the javelins obviously go onto the third rail. Otherwise they would be on there heading off to France on the high speed line. Is that a javelin? And speaking of javelins, there is a javelin right there. Probably heading down to Maidstone. How often, as I said, they run, I'm not sure, but that is a service that is in the game, and it is something you would be able to do on the route. For ourselves, though, we do have a 35 and then a 15 speed limit coming up as we get to Stroud. Start bringing our speed down to that 15. So again, as we head into our final platform, we do a little bit of frame dropping just due to scenery loading in. But how have you enjoyed the route today? How have you, are you enjoying this route? Do you own it? If you do, let me know what you think of it and what your thoughts are. For me, I'm currently very pleased with the purchase. It was definitely something that was worth picking up. And as we get to our final destination as well, I want to give you all a big thank you for joining us on today's service. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do come along for future rides by clicking the like button, the subscribe button, and also the notification bell. There'll be a lot more content coming up. I'm going to get back to doing the live streams. We have reviews coming up as well. We have the Class 90 that comes out, well, by the time you see this video will already be out. And no doubt there'll be a review on the Class 90, as I do like doing a little bit of freight. And yeah, other than that, welcome to rainy Strood.
Please check that you have all your personal belongings
We'll just
with
crawl
you
down
when
to
leaving the
15
train,
miles an hour
and keep
as
them
we
with you
pull
at
into
all
the platform.
times whilst on the station. If you see anything suspicious, please report it to a member of staff or the police.
Got seagulls above the station as well. Here we go, taking a little turn off. No other traffic in at the moment. Been coming off the main line on the way to Faversham. Well, we made it here, so if you've enjoyed today's video, I will get the doors open, and I hope to see you again for more Trains to War content in the future. For now though,